Well, hello guys. How are you today? I am sitting here with Ty, and again, good conversations, real raw conversations. So Tylene, can you give a little bit about who you are and introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Tylene, as she said, and I'm a mom of 5, and
She's amazing, incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, amazing.
You are, yes. Tylene has a really hard time taking my compliments sometimes. I've had the opportunity to work with her for the last couple of years, and she blows me away. Absolutely blows me away. And I wanted to bring Tylene on to talk because this woman turns pain into power and her wounds into wisdom. And so I wanted to share that a little bit with you guys, the world. So we've done some work, and I want to go right into it, right? Because we were just having a conversation about our inner bitch. Ugh. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Like, it's uncomfortable and it's weird, but like,
She's absolutely brutal, but she's
right?
manageable.
Yeah. And so some of the work that I do really brings awareness to some of our patterns and behaviors and our coping mechanisms, right?
Yes.
And so I had the honor to work with you in some of that. And even when you're doing amazing things and people are telling you you're amazing, sometimes that voice in our head comes in and tries to knock us down a little bit.
She will override everything if you let her, and just learning when she's starting to take control to tell her to get in the back seat is a huge thing to overcome. It's hard at first. When we first started working together, it was extremely hard because I was like, whoa, how does another woman know that I'm battling like with this inner bitch right here? How do you know?
Because me too.
And to be able to have just another woman to lean on, to know exactly what's happening inside your brain, you're just like, okay, like I can do this. Just listen and take the tools and tell that inner bitch to shut up.
Yeah, shut up. We worked on that a lot, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is some of these techniques that I work with that inner voice, it's sometimes so loud in the ways that we're doing amazing things, but yet we've lived through life, right?
Yeah. The inner bitch is, she can take you back to making you feel like you're completely nothing and have you so far down to where you don't even realize that it's the inner bitch and you fully think it's just you and that's who you are. And then getting to once you start to realize that it's the inner bitch, it's so freeing to know that you have the power to stop her, and you're no longer looking in the mirror seeing somebody different, and you actually start to see you for you. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's been lots of tears working with Ty because I watched the battle within her, and she's so amazing and does such amazing work. And you have the heart of gold, like, girl, like every time I get goosebumps. Look at this, full on goosebumps, because I look at some of the things that we've worked through and remembering my times of working through that too, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody around Tony Robbins' work, and I don't know if you've seen this, but he asks the person sitting with him to look around the room and look at everything that is brown, right? So if you look around and you see all the things that are brown, and then I turn around and ask you, what was red? You're like, wait, what? Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So sometimes with our perspective and that inner voice that's within us is looking for the outside world to, I don't know, verify for us.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what kind of things did that inner voice for you, that inner mean girl, what did she stop you from doing?
Oh gosh. She ruined countless relationships. A lot of relationships. I lost my best friend through it. I went through a crazy divorce. I had the inner bitch had me believing that I was like the worst person on earth, and that like nobody loved me, everybody hated me. Like it was like I could look in my mirror and I look in the mirror and I hated the person that I saw staring back at me. And now when I look back, I'm like, whoa, I don't even know who that person was. And now it's crazy because I can look in the mirror, and thanks to you,
you did the work, girl. You did the work. You hold all the answers.
Thanks for teaching me, but it's now I can look in the mirror and I'm like, whoa, she's beautiful. Like, she's absolutely gorgeous. And if you would have asked me 3 years ago, no way. Absolutely not.
And the thing is, too, is that it doesn't just stop with a few sessions, right?
No, it doesn't. When I did my first session with Jamie, I was like, whoa, she's a powerhouse. Like, this is going to be so great. This is going to be good. I walked out and I was feeling on top of the world. I was bulletproof. And then it took me about a month and I was right back down again. And I was like, oh, this is
the
awful.
world came in again.
Yeah. And I was like, holy smokes, how did I get here again? Like, I was so good. And then, wow, here I am again.
And this work is, this work is hard work.
It is. It takes every day. It doesn't, when you first start, it feels like you're not going anywhere. It feels like you're stuck. And then pretty soon, 6 months passes by and somebody says, whoa, you're different. And you're like, what? I am? No, I'm not different. I'm still the same person. And then you really sit back and look and you're like, whoa, I've came a long ways. Like, you don't, sometimes when that inner bitch is right there, like, you don't realize the deep work that you've truly done and how far you've really come. And when you do realize it, holy smokes. It's so bright and beautiful out here. It's amazing.
Yeah, we get to create heaven on earth. And I think that those are the parts that this work did for me. And I don't know about you, but I can go throughout my day and it isn't as heavy.
Yeah.
And I'm not as worried about the things that I can't control.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And coming back, and that's the biggest thing for me, is to help other people, is to come back home to themselves.
Yeah.
To learn that they are a gift and that they hold all these gifts, which you do. I just look at you every time I cry. I see you and I cry. But I don't know. I'm so grateful for what you've shared with me, Ty. So I want to go to some of my questions that I have here. And looking back on your story, what part of your pain first became a doorway to your power? And how did you know you were stepping into that new version of yourself?
I think looking back, when I realized that my whole world had changed and that all of the faces that I once knew were no longer the faces that I knew anymore, and thinking like, okay, I'm the problem, like something's got to change, and taking the initiative to want to change, to want to be better, to understand why those faces had left me that I thought meant so much to me. That's really where it all started, was just some self-reflection of, are you going to stay continuing to let that inner bitch run your life? Or are you going to choose to move forward and actually figure out who you are? And wanting to be better for my kids and show my kids better is really when I realized that like they were starting to act out, and I was like, holy smokes, that's like a spitting image of me. Like, I don't want them to go through that or to even know that sort of pain. that was really what pushed me to step into my own power and to figure out, like, hey.
Right, I need to ask for help, or I
yeah.
need to figure this out.
Yeah.
So in that inner bitch, just so that other people know, I mean, there's techniques and tools that I've used, but what would she tell you?
Oh gosh. A lot of bad body image comments. Like, nobody would love you, you're ugly, you're fat, your face is always fat. Like, it was a lot of, I'm fat, something is wrong with you.
Stuff.
Yeah, just a lot of body stuff. And then I just wasn't a lovable person. I would tell myself that I'm a monster, that, like, I was just a monster hiding in sheep's clothes. And
yeah, and that's tough. Like, and I can relate to that, because the work that I did years ago, like, my biggest thing was about my weight and my body. And even though my body and putting on weight actually protected me in some aspects because of my childhood, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was interesting, the inner bitch was so mean. But when you also look at it, is sometimes that inner voice is trying to keep us safe. And I think we've worked a little bit with that, like honoring that, like, okay, we hear you, but you're gonna step back. Like, I'm gonna take it from here. And so
she had me so safe that somebody would give me a comment. I could be walking down the street, or I just sitting anywhere, and somebody can be like, hey, you're beautiful, or even just a friend, somebody would say that, and I'd be like, you're lying, you're blind, you should get glasses. Like, would instantly just deflect it, because I was like, if you knew what was underneath these clothes, there's no way you would be telling me that. And then working with you and just like talking with other women, learning that, like, most women have that same thought of, holy smokes, if you only knew what was underneath it. And little do we all know, we all look the same underneath there, and we're all beautiful.
We're all beautiful, right?
Yes.
We've had babies.
Yes.
We had 5 beautiful babies.
Yes.
And I just, and to honor the body. And it's, that's a big one though, right? And I see
huge.
A lot of clients, women, that are also like dealing with that same thing, like not good enough. My teeth aren't good enough. I mean, I have one, like, I still hear that inner voice sometimes when I'm watching myself back on video, and I'm like, oh gosh, that tooth, you know? I mean, seriously. But it makes me who I am, and I think that those are the things, like, I have to realize, and it's hard sometimes, like, to realize when it's speaking to me. Like, I would tell myself, no one wants to hear somebody that's overweight.
Yeah.
Where did that even come from? I'm like, what the heck? Like, I had no value because I had extra weight or something, you know?
It's when you stand in front of the mirror with nothing on, and you can stand there for, 5 minutes, and you're like, what is that? How did this happen? Why am I like this? And then you step out and you're like, whoa, I'm actually, like, really beautiful. And it definitely takes work to get there, but if you put in the true work and you actually dig deep within and start finding, like, that real beauty, then, like, she just goes away.
Yeah, she starts quieting down.
Yeah, like, the more positive that you start feeding into yourself when you're looking in the mirror for 5 minutes, it's huge.
Right?
It's so huge.
I mean, and sometimes it's like working with clients and just reminding them that they're a gift, right? And that's hard to take in sometimes. And I know a few of my clients, we've done sticky notes. Like, where are they looking? Where is this inner voice so strong? To remind them that we're together, right? I mean, I have one woman that I actually had a necklace, and for whatever reason, the above was like, nope, you need to give her this necklace that matched mine to remind her that she's not alone, right?
Yeah.
And so every time she looks in the mirror, she sees that necklace, and she's like, oh yeah, like I'm worthy of being loved, and I'm worthy, and I'm with somebody else. My ally is here. And so sometimes it's finding those pieces, right?
Yeah, it is. I would have to say, you probably don't know this, but
oh no.
One of the last deep works that we did, I didn't realize how far I was down, and you had made a comment and you were like, when she comes in, like, you just have to tell her, and you're like, you're so beautiful, and like, I wish you could see you through my eyes. And like, you were just going on, I'm sure you probably recall that conversation, and
that was a big contrast.
And when I left there, I was like, how does she see that, but I don't see that, because I think that about her. Like, every time I see you, I'm like, she's so amazing, like, the work that she does is great, and she's so beautiful. Like, how? Like, just trying to understand, I'm like, why is she feeding that into me, but I'm not feeding that into her? Like, and so every time, like, that inner bitch kicks in, here's my ally Jamie in my head, it's like,
Yes!
bitch, get in the back seat, and I'm like, oh yeah, here I am.
Yes.
Like, that just always plays in my head, and I can't thank you enough for that. Like,
you're gonna make me cry again.
Like, it's just, to meet another woman that knows so deep, that doesn't even know you, and to be able to say those things, and you're just like, whoa. Like, it's so empowering, the work that you do, and the love that you pour into others. Like, it's amazing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I think that I just see you, right? I just see this beautiful light that, in your vulnerability. Like, I've got to work with Ty, and God, I'm gonna get the cry here, but Ty's vulnerability in group work is unbelievable, because then the other people feel safe enough. She provides such safety for other people, women and men, to be able to go there. And I can't thank you enough, girl. Like, your beauty goes so much further than just your outside beauty. Like, you walk into a room and you're a lighthouse, you know, and just the healing that I've seen just from you being vulnerable with the work that we do. Gosh, I can't even thank you enough, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate that, because vulnerability is something that that's took me a lot, and so I thank you, because I didn't know what that was, and I've always, that inner bitch had me, you know, in that tight box, and I'm like, vulnerability? No way, what is that word? We don't do that here, like, no. And so learning that, and to be able to open up from my heart instead of my head, and to walk into, you know, a room full of men and just be like, hey, like, I'm gonna show you, like, this is what it's like for a woman to open up. And if that, like, I never would have imagined being able to open up to a room full of men deep down, and to tell somebody, like, I struggle with thinking that I'm worthy, and they're, you know, you're in a room full of men, and so they're like, what are you, why are you telling us this? And then the deeper that you dive, pretty soon you look around and you have a room full of men with tears in their eyes, and then pretty soon they're starting to open up, and they're like, you know, you said that, like, thank you for empowering me, because I also went through a divorce, and I'm struggling, thinking that I'm worthy. And you're like, sometimes as a woman, you're like, whoa, men struggle with thinking that they're worthy?
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
And men struggle also with feeling worthiness, and they may not have an inner bitch, but I'm sure that they have, you know.
Yeah, inner asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
It's real.
And,
yeah. And I think that those are the things that, you know, through this deep work that I've been doing for so many years, I've noticed, like, how much men and women the insecurities are still there,
mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes I call the inner jerk, bitch, asshole, but they're demons, right? They're keeping us from being who we were meant to be. And I think I had struggled with that for years, and I had such a great support system mm-hmm. in this work to be able to call on my people and say, oh my gosh, this happened and I feel unworthy of love, or something is coming up. Because I've dealt with a lot of unworthiness too, mm-hmm. and we've shared that a little bit. But yeah, it's interesting to see as I'm working with men as well. Or sometimes if I have women and men together in a group, a woman might bring up some vulnerability, and then he all of a sudden, this man has an eye-opening aha moment about his wife.
Yeah.
Right? And it's brought connection back to marriages. I've had the opportunity and honor to work with married couples as well with this work, with communication. I got goosebumps. Jeez. All the way down my legs. Anyways, but about this work to communicate and to be vulnerable and to really dive deep into some of these patterns of behavior, right? That keep us safe, but keep us out of love.
Yeah.
Right? Out of true love and living the life that we've always dreamed.
Yeah. It's I can't stress enough that when you are so trapped in, you don't realize all of the opportunities that it holds you back from, like love, life, just having those intimate connections with just anybody, really. Like you become so closed off that you're just like,
yeah, and that's that surface level, right? Those conversations that are just surface level. And my thing is I don't want those relationships in my life because it's not fulfilling for me.
Right.
I want to know, what sets your heart on fire.
Yeah.
I want to know what keeps you up at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of the people have talked about that I've had a conversation with have talked about that. Like, those are some of the questions. But that's how we get down deep, and that's how we start making movements of having the world that we want, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, we probably got sidetracked.
We're all over the place, but this is great. This is the real conversations,
Yeah.
and this is what I want people to understand is that these are the conversations that we get to have because we've had deep work, and I get to know you as Ty even before I could read your energy, right? But man, you were just amazing, and it goes back to that, you transformed wounds, like from childhood and other things, into wisdom in such a beautiful way. But what insider truth surprised you the most about yourself during this work?
That one hits deep. I would say that 99% of the time, I don't think I'm worthy, and this work don't get me wrong, I still struggle some days, but most days I know that I am worthy, and I forgot where I was going with that because
yeah, but it just
you hit me with it. I knew it right away. I was like, oh, that's worthy. That's totally what that is, and then it.
Yeah, that worthiness. But again, right, and it's not just a one and done, right?
No.
Yeah, this work is.
It's ongoing. Kind of like I had mentioned, when you leave from doing the deep work face to face, you still have to carry it out once you leave, and it still hits you like a ton of bricks, and it takes you right back to square one, and then you use those tools, and then you keep moving, and then eventually you're like, whoa, I didn't think I was worthy, and now like I know that I'm worthy, like I'm deserving of this.
And I think that's the big thing is I've also like doing the work, and we come together and we are on top of the world. Like we can do anything, right? And because we've created a safe container, and then we go out into the world and there's other people that are also dealing with their own inner demons, inner things, and then it kind of pulls us down, right? And so the next time I get to meet with Ty, we talk about where did that happen? What happened within you when you started to crash again?
Yeah.
And we bring awareness, and then we challenge it, and we change it. And I think that's the biggest thing is I've gotten to work with you over the years and watch this girl just, keep climbing the mountain. And do you believe, or what part of that do you believe for yourself, kind of finding what was taking you out, right? Bringing that awareness in. What part of that helped you?
I would find that I would let other people's opinions or just outside noise come in, and I would cling on to it and think that that was like the absolute end.
Mm-hmm.
And learning to block that out and not care and know like what the mission was on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
I think is what helped tremendously. It's just not listening to the outside noise and letting it trap you on the inside,
Right.
or picking up that filter and thinking that it belongs to you and that now you've got to fix that, because sometimes it's not yours to fix.
Right. And sometimes it's like coming back home to myself, like, is this from me, right?
Mhm.
Because if we're always looking outside, looking for brown, but like Tony Robbins' work, right? But then he says, well, now look for red. Well, it's really hard, because if you're
Yeah.
looking through a filter where you're unworthy and you're looking for things to verify that that is truth.
Yeah, and then you start picking up like every little thing. You're like, oh, there's a sign, that's a sign, that's a sign. And then pretty soon you've got yourself so far gone that when somebody does say, hey, where's that red? You're like, huh?
Yeah.
Where'd you come from?
Right. Or that you are worthy, and
Mhm.
they might have said, hey, this paper was wonderful, but this part, I'll just need you to change a little bit on here.
Yeah.
And then that inner shit or inner bitch comes in and says, oh, you didn't do it well enough.
Yep.
But you missed all this amazing stuff that
Yeah.
they just said, right?
Yeah, you literally, you pick apart and you take that one thing and you just dive right in, not even realizing.
Yep, that verifies that you're unworthy,
Everything. Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And so what we got to do is we got to remind you and show you and start changing the filter, right?
Mhm.
It's like, nope, we're gonna change the filter on that, Ty. That part, nope, we're gonna let that one go, right?
Yeah, you don't realize how many filters that you pick up just even on a day-to-day basis, and the more deeper and the more times that you do that work one-on-one, and then even like after leaving the one-on-one, you start to realize the more you dive into that work, you're like, that's not for me, leave that right there, keep on moving. It's
Yeah.
nice once you get to that part and you're able to recognize that that's
Because the messy middle is messy.
Yes.
Like, it's hard, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think the people around us sometimes are like, what is going on? Like, you know?
yeah.
Because as you're doing it, and it's not easy work, but it's so worth it.
Yes.
So what has this experience with cohort taught you about community?
Oh, that you're not alone. You're not alone at all. No matter how dark, deep down you are, trapped, whatever mindset that you're in, that somebody also feels the same way that you feel, and that there are great resources, great mentors to help you realize that you're not alone, that you're not by yourself.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Sitting in group work, and that's one of my favorites, is because my story is your story, is
Mhm.
our story.
Literally, yeah, 100%. And you don't realize that until you're able to come together in that group, and one person opens up. It's almost like it encourages the next person to open up, and yeah.
That's why if I knew that there was somebody that really had a hard time with vulnerability, I would invite Tylene, because oh my gosh, just her truth, her raw truth, and her vulnerability it was like medicine to others.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you. Like, it gets me like teary-eyed, because I have gotten to work with this woman, and I'm so grateful, Ty, for the medicine that you give the other humans in the room and to everything in your life. Like, I don't think you realize too sometimes. I'm like, girl, you are like feeding medicine to these beautiful souls to help them realize their beauty and their gifts as well.
You're 100% correct. I don't realize. I am notorious for when I am headed to something like this. I remember my first cohort, I was like practicing in my head what I was going to say. And I was like, you know, trying to keep that protection up. And I was like, oh, if I just say this, then I'll be okay. And they won't know. And if I just say this, and like, I could tell myself that all day long. And then by the time that it came for my session, that is completely opposite of what happened, because when somebody realizes that you're just answering from your head and not your heart, and then they ask you that one question and you're like, you just hit me right where it counted. Come on now. And then you have to open up. But the best part about it is when somebody asks you that and it's just a conversational question and you don't even realize that someone's diving that deep into you, and then you are on the outside of it and you're watching somebody else start to open up and you can see the looks on their faces, you're just like, whoa, wow.
And you start, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this process does, is it teaches the other people, like in the cohort. It's not just coaching for one person, it's teaching people how to coach. It's teaching people, because we all have that gift. We all have this gift of connection.
Yeah.
And watching you be able to then go in and help coach other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get attuned to what's happening when they're in their mind or when they're coming from their heart and being vulnerable.
Yeah, it really, when somebody's able to open up and be that vulnerable in a group setting like that, it just really gives, I feel like you really create like a deep connection with that person. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the trust that you instill with that person and that person instills with you, like the bond that it just creates it's one in a million, that you're not going to walk out on the street with somebody and make that same bond ever. Like,
right.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it's people sometimes in groups that you would never have ran into each other, or you don't have anything like on the outside common.
Yeah.
But then my story is your story is our story.
Yeah. One of my greatest guy friends, we had a pretty good friendship, and we actually did a group setting together, and I didn't think a friendship could deepen any more than what it was, being a guy and a girl without it being awkward, and doing this work and being the only girl in that guy group. I now have a crazy connection with those guys, and it's weird because people are like, and you're like, well, only if you knew, like,
right,
what I know, then it's amazing. But
yeah, and it's true intimacy, right? And sometimes I always thought like true intimacy was like sexual, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't have that. And I have a couple guy friends that are, I mean, the intimacy is on a different level on this work, and we've never been sexual, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, and also doing this work, it creates some uncomfortable spaces for people that haven't done the work, because they don't understand, like, why are you so close to my husband, or why, and so that is something that we're also inviting others in based on that, because we don't want to create that at all. We just want people to understand that this is true intimacy, and it's getting to know you from a deeper level.
Yeah,
right?
Wrapping back up into, just the community portion of it, you can have intimacy with a community of people and not have it be sexual. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the piece that I'm hoping to change on this planet, or whatever my presence in this work does, is that it doesn't have to be, right? Because I think that it just limits us. And I think that societal like thought process on intimacy is wrong.
Yeah.
And I want to have these connections, and I don't feel alone, because I have these deep connections.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could speak to a woman or a man standing exactly where you are or once stood before, and they were unsure of this work, what would you tell them? Being on the other side, you know?
Yeah, yep. I would say that there's so much I could say. That if you are struggling, knowing that just taking that one step forward and reaching out and seeing what it has to offer, even if you go in with the most negative mindset because you don't know the outcome and you're afraid of the fear, that you would be, by the time you come out of that first setting of whatever group one-on-one setting, whatever it may be, your mind will not be the same when you leave. You will be in awe and you will want more and more and more. And then I feel like I'm not making sense right now because I don't know how to say how good it is taking that first step and then realizing once you're a couple years in that you're thankful that you took that first step, even though you're scared as hell.
Right, the unknown. Scared of the unknown, right?
Yeah, yep.
And I think if there's anyone that watches these and is watching them, like, please reach out, you know, and let us know. And I will put some information about Ty, and kind of allow you to know that there is a community out there, and we aren't alone.
Yeah.
And especially with body image and divorce, right? Divorce is so hard, and it doesn't have to be so, I don't know, so alone. I don't know, because I felt alone in my divorce, and like nobody quite understood, except for when I was doing this work. I was able to kind of understand a little bit more and about myself, about my own reactions. Yeah. And the way I was handling it, which I didn't handle it very well.
Same.
Right?
Same.
And it was so much pain. It was like this pain of separation, a pain of these different things. And until I started doing the work and understanding kind of what I was doing, I wasn't able to fully be there for the people in my life, you know?
I think, and going back to when you get to understand those reactions, that's also another like just huge key of, I think, what I mean by like going into it with the unknown and then experiencing it that one time and you wanting more and more, and the more you learn and the more you learn how to control those actions or those reactions, you're just like, whoa, I wouldn't have never done this before. Like, where did this come from?
Right. It would have totally changed my life years ago if I would have had the opportunity. Yeah. And that's what we're doing out here, is just create an opportunity for people, because again, like watching you as you've grown, and the other people that I've had the honor to sit with and dive in, because we work knowing that you all have the answers. You do. You honestly do. And I don't know, I just get to help you with tools and to give space to what your true dreams and success looks like for you. Right? Yeah. If there was one thing that you could say that you have not said yet, it's one of our questions. What would you say?
I would say that if you have ever struggled opening up to a counselor, a therapist, anybody in your life, that this is definitely the work that is meant for you, because it will take you miles in life and you will forget that you didn't know or you didn't want to open up to somebody.
Oh, girl.
That's what I would say.
Well, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
staying
you for
with
inviting
me.
me.
Yes, having tea with me, and we appreciate you guys so much. We'll have this on YouTube here in a little while, and giving more information about what we're doing. So you can find the Lotus Vision Coaching online, and then I will put that on there, as well as we are doing an onboarding in January. And I'm hoping one day, and I'm just throwing this out there because I'm going to manifest it, but that Ty will join my my business of coaches. I really think that you would bring so much to this whole work, and I'm going to manifest it. So
Thank you.
here we are today, telling the whole world, baby, that we're going to keep creating and keep doing amazing things because you're incredible.
Yes.
So thank you
I
guys.
highly encourage you reach out. You will
Yeah.
not be disappointed.
So here we go. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.